If you're like me, you probably haven't herded many sheep in your life. I also don't imagine you have spent a lot of time watching sheep. They're very unique animals, and there's a reason why sheep and shepherds are mentioned several times throughout the Bible, both in the Old Testament and by Jesus in the New Testament. Because we're not as familiar with shepherding today, we can miss some of the important meaning in the Bible's teaching. While you and I are not familiar with the job of herding sheep, it would have been an occupation a lot of people in the first century would have understood well. That's where today's lesson takes us. So let's go herd some sheep.
Sheep. They're dirty, smelly, pretty helpless, and sometimes can be a little hard-headed. Does that sound like some people you know? It's no wonder the Bible talks about us as sheep and compares Jesus to a shepherd, calling him the Good Shepherd. We are his flock, and he is leading us and keeping us safe. Let's first talk about the shepherd. In John chapter 10, Jesus refers to himself as the Good Shepherd and talks about protecting his sheep. It was a common practice for the shepherd to sleep in the doorway of the sheep pen to make sure dangerous animals didn't try to sneak in to attack the sheep at night. We know that several people in the Bible are mentioned as being shepherds. Moses herded sheep for a while after leaving Egypt. That's what he was doing when he encountered God in the burning bush. David was also a shepherd when he was a boy, and the Bible talks about him fighting off lions and bears to protect his flock. Can you imagine fighting a hungry bear? Being a shepherd was a very thankless, dirty, hard job. You were in the hot sun with a bunch of smelly animals, and no one was coming up to you wanting your autograph. When you look at Jesus, he was humble, and he did the hard work of coming to earth, living a sinless life and dying on the cross for his sheep, you and me. That's our Good Shepherd, the best shepherd. Now let's talk about the sheep for a minute. What do they add to this relationship? Well, not much. They wander around needing to be fed and watered, and sometimes they get lost. We read about a parable Jesus told to a crowd of people in Luke chapter 15. Jesus talked about a lost sheep and explained to the crowd listening, if you have 100 sheep and lose one, you would go after the one that was lost. However, sheep are extremely loyal and love their shepherd, and follow their shepherd and come when their shepherd calls. It's because they know their food, their safety comes from that shepherd and no one else. A shepherd may not be very important to many people, but to the sheep, there's no one more important.
Do you put your trust in Jesus, our shepherd? Are you thankful for him? You know, we probably have many people who take care of us, parents, grandparents, teachers, and we depend on them. They provide for us and keep us safe. That's something to be thankful for. How much more should we be thankful for Jesus, who shepherds our souls? Good sheep follow the Good Shepherd. If we have someone taking care of us, maybe our parents, but certainly Jesus, we have a lot to be thankful for.